All right. You are Onesimus. That's right. Onesimus. Well, we're still in the book of Philemon. One chapter, one letter, one guy, one Paul to Philemon. I'm going to read the verses for today that we looked at on Sunday, all right? Philemon 8 starts like this. Accordingly, no, I am bold enough in Christ to command you to do what is required. I appeal to you, my child, Onesimus, for Onesimus, whose father I became in my imprisonment. Formerly he was useless to you, but now he is indeed useful to you and to me. I'm sending him back to you, sending my very heart. I would have been glad to keep him with me in order that he might serve me on your behalf during my imprisonment for the gospel. But I prefer to do nothing without your consent, in order that your goodness might not be by compulsion, but of your own accord. For this, perhaps, is why he was parted from you. For a while, you might have him back forever, no longer as a bondservant, but more than a bondservant, as a beloved brother, especially to me, but how much more to you, both in the flesh and in the Lord. Well, Paul very clearly speaking here about Onesimus, the bondservant of Philemon. We understand that something happened here. Onesimus ran away, found Paul. We don't know the situation, but we do know a bondservant is for life, and we do know that something occurred. It wouldn't have been right for Onesimus to run away, to take leave of Philemon. And it seems here Paul is doing the right thing. He's going to send Onesimus back to Philemon, but writing Philemon a letter first, just to let him know a little bit about what's going on. Now, it's interesting. As Onesimus, like I said earlier, you are Onesimus. We see that Paul is treating you like a child. He's advocating for you, and that you are a loved sibling. How important is that? Now, oftentimes in our culture and in our way of thinking in the Western world, being treated like a child is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? No, it's a bad thing generally. But in this respect, Paul is speaking about Onesimus not as a servant, not as a bondservant even for Philemon, not as a piece of property or anything like that, but as a beloved child, a much loved child. You know, the Lord speaks of us like that, as his loved children. What a wonderful thing to be Onesimus, to be loved children. Number two, Paul speaks about, well, he really doesn't speak about it. He is doing it. He's advocating for Onesimus. He's standing on Onesimus's side and saying to Philemon, hey, this is my beloved brother. I'm sending him back. I'm sending a very part of me back to you. It is so good to have somebody advocate for you, isn't it? Have you ever had anybody that stands in your corner, that stands in your space and says, hey, wait a minute. I know this person. I love this person, and I want to stand up for them. Maybe you have been that for someone else, and it feels so good to be loved in that way. And the final thing that Paul does is he says that they're loved siblings, children, together, brothers in Christ. What a close bond. All of these things say, but a loved sibling, a child. We are children of Jesus Christ. Brothers and sisters, all. We are advocated for, and we are treated like wonderful children. Jesus, remember, he said, hey, bring the children to me, and don't stop them. And he blessed them. And he blesses us still this day. So if you are Onesimus, in what ways this week, you know what? Maybe there's someone that needs to hear you say, I love you and I'm standing with you. I'm going nowhere. I am here for you. You are loved and I am your brother, your sister. And I'm right here. I'm Onesimus. Well, whatever life brings this week, you have a fantastic one. as you remember these lessons and these things that we were given in Philemon.